Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're finally going to do the install on the glow plugs on the 7.3. So let's get to it. Another thing that I want to say that I forgot to mention on my previous video about diagnosing your glow plugs. One thing that I did is the truck didn't start in the morning. So I went ahead and plugged it in for a few hours. I came back and it fired right up. So to me that was kind of also one of the main things why I believed that the glow plugs were out. So that's another thing. If you have time, plug it in for a few hours, and if it fires up, that's another good indicator that your glow plugs are out. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna be installing these glow plugs. They're the Motorcraft brand, and they're basically the only ones that you want to go with. That's the part number. Now, the reason why you want to go with these ones is because I've heard that that other brands can fail prematurely. They can crack in your head and fall in your cylinder. So you want to avoid those ones. So get the Motorcraft ones. I bought them at AutoZone. I believe they were about $10 each. The relay, I got that one at AutoZone. I didn't want to wait to get the Stancore one, so we'll see how that one holds up if it does fail again. If it does fail, I'll probably go to the Stancore. But anyways, the first thing you want to do when you do your glow plugs is disconnect the batteries. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. That's what I'm gonna be doing right now. All right, so now with both negative terminals disconnected on the batteries, I want to go ahead and vacuum up the area around my valve covers, so that any dirt or grease or whatever that might be built up around them doesn't fall into the head. Okay, so I'm gonna be starting on the passenger side because I believe it's a little easier. There's less things in the way to get out. The first thing that I did was take off this little canister that sits right here. Right on top of the valve cover. All it is two 8mm screws and then one little hose. So remove that, and then the reason why I removed that is because, one, to get easier access to the back bolt, and two, to make it easier to actually remove the cover once I got all the bolts out. So I'm not really sure what it is. It's a little canister, but yeah, we'll remove that. Remove the little foil that's covering it. It's really not that bad. By the way, I did get that tip on removing that canister and all that foil stuff from R&D Diesel. He's also got a channel with the 7.3 OBS. He's doing some fun stuff on there. You should go check out his channel too. He's got some great stuff going on. The next step is going to be taking off all your bolts to your valve cover. The hardest one are going to be, like I told you, the one on the back by the firewall, and the two holding on the bracket for the dipstick, which is this. It's got two studs at the bottom, so you take off the nut for that. You take off a nut. You take off the nut that goes right here to the dipstick. You take off the little bracket. So this is what holds your dipstick in place. That little tab in the back grabs on right there, and then you have the screw that goes in through there with the nut on the back. So you take that off, remove this like that, and take your bracket out. And then once you take off all your bolts, all you gotta do is remove the valve cover. Pops out. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so I gotta say, without that canister in the way, it's super easy to take off the valve cover. So I do recommend that you take it off. Okay, so now once you're in your head, so your glow plugs are the ones that connect to these little connectors, and they are right down there. See it? Right kind of under your injector. So you're gonna take those out. Alright guys, so I actually finished last night with the passenger side install because it was getting pretty late and I was running out of time. But anyway, so I'll show you basically the main things you gotta know about the passenger side, which is really not that much. There's really nothing special about it. But yeah, let me show you. So basically, putting it back together is the opposite of taking it off. You throw your valve cover back on. You put all your bolts. Then you throw in your bracket for the dipstick. Put the dipstick back on. Then if you did take off your canister, put it back on. connect that little hose that goes to it, and then put the foil back on, and you'll be done with the passenger side. So now it's gonna be time to do the driver's side, which you gotta take your intake out. That bracket that connects to the intake that holds it, that goes out, and that should be it. Alright, so once you're at your valve cover, I removed the intake right here. I also removed this aluminum piece. It's attached with 2 bolts to this bracket, so I took those 2 bolts out. Take your clamp off, and all the other bolts, we should be able to get to them with all this stuff removed. So, alright. So, something that I wasn't expecting is this little bracket. It's at the back of the head, and it covers the rear, the furthest bolt back. So you gotta remove 2 nuts, one on top, one on the bottom, and it just comes right off, and then you can get to your furthest nut. The driver's side, I gotta say, is definitely much harder than the passenger side. To be honest, I would recommend that you do like me, start on the passenger side. It's the easier side. You know, get kind of warm up, I guess, because there's a lot more things to take off on the driver's side. The back bolt, the back nut is much harder to get to, as well as some of the other ones around here. But anyways, I already got all of them out, so now let's try and pull it out. Okay, so there's a couple hoses and you gotta pull out, and there you go, straight out. So this is the driver's side head, and it's pretty much the same thing as you can see right there, pretty much right in the center of the screen. Pretty much right there is your first glow plug, and then all the other ones are gonna be, there's the second one, third one, and the fourth one's gonna be all the way over there. So what you're gonna do, it's just like on the other side. You're gonna go and you're gonna pull it by the little wire, pull it out, pop the little connector out. So there you go. So you see that little shiny thing right there? That's your glow plug. But I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but it's surrounded by oil. So you want to get all that oil out. So what I got is on my vacuum, I attached this little hose to it so I can vacuum it out. So let's do that. Okay, so this right here is the setup that I'm using. I'm using a 10mm deep socket on about a 3-inch extension on a 1/4-inch drive ratchet. So you're gonna find it, and then stick your ratchet. Now, they shouldn't be too tight. There we go. Pop it loose. Drive it out. Now don't go all the way out because you're not gonna be able to get your socket out. So that's about good right there. And then on the same hose that I used on the vacuum, I cut a little piece. So with this, we're gonna drive it out the rest of the way. So that's all you do. Okay, so installing them is the exact opposite process. You get your new glow plug. Remember Motorcraft. You get it, drop it in the little hole. You get your little hose, and you get it started. I don't know if you can see, but see it's just spinning right there. It doesn't take much, and they spin. Super easy. Now once it's started on there pretty good, take your socket and your extension, drop it on there, tying it the rest of the way. Okay, so once you have it nice and snug, take your little ratchet and you tighten the rest of the way till it's snug. And then I don't have my torque wrench right now handy, but I'm gonna torque him. You torque him down to 124 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, inch-pounds, and that should be all you need. All right, guys. So everything's put back together. It goes back on the same way you took it off, and there's really nothing hard about it. Again, the only hard part again is that back nut with that bracket. But yeah, everything's back together, and I've actually been running the truck for the past week. It's been starting in the morning great without a problem, so I'm pretty sure that I fixed it. But fingers crossed that nothing else goes bad. I don't think so. And hopefully in the next few weeks, I'm gonna be redoing my intake, because I don't like those filters. If you can see how they get all full of dust real quick, I don't like that. And I'm gonna be doing something with my exhaust too to hopefully make it sound better. And then I've got another thing that I'm gonna be working on here. Hopefully this week. I think I already have it. I just gotta start putting it on. So that should be fun. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't. And by the way, thanks so much on all the new subscribers, all the support that I've been getting lately. We are as of right now, we are at 93 subscribers, so we are so close to 100. So thank you a lot. It really means a lot, and I'm gonna keep making these videos, and hopefully this channel will keep growing. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. And by the way, these are the joys of owning a truck, especially one that's sort of lifted. By the way, I don't really think this truck's lifted. I think it's kind of got like the heavier duty springs on it. But here, see, like I don't really think it's lifted, but it's pretty high. Most people think that it's lifted, but it's not. But yeah, that's the only way I can reach in my engine bay. And like I said, I'm 5'11", so I'm not short, but yeah, I like it though. I do want to go a little bit higher. I'm thinking if I do the coil spring swap, the 05 and up swap, I do want to go up a little higher and run some 35s on it. But other than that, I love the way it sits. But anyways, thanks.